Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Portfolio 2 for IT automation course. In this Portfolio 2, I have created two scripts, Python scripts. Task 1 deals with the OS module, wherein we l- uh, filter out list of files with a particular extension. And the task 2 deals with the enhancement of task 1 with dynamic inputs and also using regular expression module to uh, search the files with a particular starting few characters of the file entered. Now let me quickly execute both the scripts and show the results, and then I'll explain the script properly one by one. Let me first execute the task 1 script. So let me clear all the Yeah, so this is the terminal. Let me execute the task 1 script. So, and a quick background about the directory which it is going to search. So this is the absolute path which I am using, and inside this absolute path there is a directory called as test.dir. So this is the assignment folder, and it has the test.dir folder, which has multiple kinds of files: text files, document files, PDFs, many things. So let me execute this first. I ran the Python file, and it has listed all the text files in this directory. Now let me quickly change this to doc uh, to list out all the document files and run it again. You can see that it has listed all the document files as well once I change the extension. Let me put it back to txt as that is the requirement. Now let me run the second script as well. The second script, that is task 2 script, is basically an enhancement to the task 1. Let me run the script. Enter the name of the directory to be searched. Let me enter test dir. That is the directory which I want to search for. And next, enter the extension. So let me enter .txt, T, capital T, small x, capital T, so that any kind of input is accepted. Next, enter the starting few characters of the file. So let me list out all the nodes, all the files of nodes. So I'm entering small n capital O, small n capital O, so that any kind of input can be recognized acceptable. So let me hit enter, and it has listed 4 match files. That means there are 4 files of starting with NO, and it has pasted the result in files name.txt as per the requirement of the task, and it is the directory of that file. So file path of that file. And now that is this file, and it has printed all the txt files with starting with no. So you can see no, and no. All the 4 files has been printed. Similarly, let me run this script again, and filter out document files. Okay. I'm playing the file. Enter the name of the directory again, test dir. Enter the type. I'll put as small d, capital O, C, X, so that it is understood. Dx. Enter the starting few characters. I'm putting capital A S S I, capital A S S I, capital I. Let me put as capital I. Let's see, and hit enter. So when I did that, it has filtered out 3 files. That is assign 1 and assign 1, 2, 3. 3 document files it has filtered out and pasted the result in file names.txt. That is this file. And as you can see, the files has been correctly listed in the file name.txt file. Now I'll quickly explain how the script has been written. Let me explain the task 1 script. In this script, I have imported 2 modules, that is OS and os.path module. And in that module, and I have predefined the absolute path to this, and then I have defined the directory name as test.dir. This is test.dir, and extension, that is the .txt extension. Okay. So all these are there. And now next I'm doing is I'm writing FEXT. That means lowering the text file. FEXT is equal to ext.lower. I'm lowering the text file, and then so that any kind of input is acceptable. And then I'm defining the function. And in this function, I have used two parameters, that is the directory name and the file extension. And next, a new variable called path, and using path.join of OS module, path.join function of the OS module, I'm combining the directory and combining both the absolute path and the directory name to form the complete directory name of test.dir. And then using if condition, I'm verifying whether this directory exists or not. If it doesn't exist, it will directly go to else and print the directory does not exist command message. But if it exists, then go to for loop. In this for loop, I'm listing all the files in this directory, and in that list, next I'm using if condition and doing ends with function. Using ends with function, it will verify whether that file ends with .txt extension or not. And then if it is if it is ending with .txt, then it will print the file in the console. So it is printing the file. And else the and the list else part is basically the if the directory doesn't exist, then it will print this command, print this message. And next is I'm doing the function call and passing the values, that is dir name, that is this one, and the extension. Let me quickly run this script for bad path as well. Play. Oh, the test directory is already there. Let me put some other character here and run. So when it runs, it clearly says that the directory does not exist because test.dir1 directory does not exist. Let me revert. Yeah. Now let's go to task 2. In this task 2, I'm using OS module and regular expression module. I'm accepting the input from user of the directory name to be searched. The absolute path, I have predefined it. In the extension part, I'm accepting any kind of extension that the user wants to search. I'm lowering the case for the extension for the input which the user has provided. And then in line number 14, I'm accepting the first starting few characters of the file that has to be filtered out. And this is the function which I have written. In this function, I am using the result. I have defined the function called result, and which accepts 3 parameters as per the requirement. That is the directory name, the extension, and the search string, which the first starting few characters of the file name, which has to be filtered out. Next, I'm using path to join the directories. And then what I'm doing is I'm creating another variable f path, which creates the file path of the file names.txt, so that I can use that file, and I can always delete the file, like not delete the file, basically clear the content of that file. If if any random string or if any results of previous execution has been stored, then that will be cleaned using the seek and truncate. Basically, seek, what it does is it puts the cursor to the zeroth index of the entire file, and then clean file dot truncate basically cleans all the lines in that particular file, so that whenever we execute this script, uh, the new result is pasted in the file name, and the old result is cleared off. That is the part that is achieved by these 3 lines. And next, I'm using again similar to task 1. I'm using if condition to verify the path is there or not. And then Inside that, I'm doing for loop. I think I have to paste this part. I have to paste this part inside so that it verifies and then cleans. Yeah. Let me remove this. It verifies and cleans, yes. And I'll take this out and put it inside. Yeah. So if you see here, it will also verify whether the path exists or not, that is test dir path exists or not, and then change the path, and then if it is existing, then it will change it to that directory and then clean the file if this file name exists. And then in this for loop, what I'm doing is I'm listing all the files in that directory, and then using if condition, I'm checking the conditions of that file, each file in that directory. So the first condition is it has to end with the extension provided by the user, that is exe, and then it should, and also it should match with the search string that is provided by the user, and it should ignore any cases. That means if the user gives the input as capital N and capital O, then it should print all the files, that is note 21, notes flat.txt and notes.txt, all the files it has to print. That's why we are using the re.I capital I flag, which is basically ignoring the case. Next, t is equal to t+1 is basically the counter, the number of files it filters out. It will keep that count. And then finally, when we print this message, we can use that variable to print the number of files found that match the criteria. And then it will then, using the with condition, open function, we open a file name called as filenames.txt in append mode and write each file name that is satisfying the criteria in that particular file. That means the result will be stored in filenames.txt file, and then else will basically print the directory does not exist if the particular directory doesn't exist inputted by the user, and then it will print the actual message. And this is the function call which I am doing, wherein I am passing directory name, extension, and search string variables as the arguments for this particular function. As you already saw the execution earlier, let me do a bad path execution. That means if the directory doesn't exist, it has to print the directory does not exist message. Let me do that. I'm running the command. So it's asking for test dir. So let me test dir2. As there is no directory with this name, it should print the directory does not exist. It's asking for file extension. Let me do that as well. And enter the starting few characters of the file. Okay, SS something. So it clearly says that the directory does not exist and 0 matching files found. That means when we go to the file name, the previous execution is still, the previous execution's result is still maintained here. It is not cleaned up because the directory does not exist and 0 matches were found. So, and as you can see, both the scripts are successfully executed and are satisfying all the requirements mentioned in the portfolio. Thank you for listening. All the best. I'm stopping my recording now. Thank you.